What is going on, everybody out there in the intro webs and I guess podcast land, right? Because I guess you could technically be in podcast world, wherever that may be, galaxies, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
Episode 49.
There you go. Episode 49. We're almost over the hill. We're almost 50.
We're almost as old as Sin is actually
beautiful.
is.
I know, right?
Yeah. Sin, your background is wild, bro.
Dude, it's crazy, right? It's nutty. This is the settings for this thing to be holiday. It doesn't help when you have a headache too. Just have flashing fucking lights behind you.
Holiday
turns
setting.
around and just strokes out.
Yeah.
Holiday setting is just flagging down the nearest giant aircraft possible.
You're gonna see a fucking 747 just come crashing through my window. So, but what is going on, everybody? It is episode number 49 of the best goddamn podcast in the known universe. We are here, and yeah, you know what? Drop Frames moving to Sunday because they're afraid of us. They can't handle being in the same day, right? Not even the same time slot. We're just bro, we cannot be around the pre-patch podcast. It just can't happen. You guys
is too much.
I just want to let you guys know, yesterday I got a phone call from Joe Rogan asking how do we do what we do, and I was like, you can't. You're not gonna be able to replicate it. You can have all of the Elon Musks and all the fucking people on your show. It's not gonna work unless you've got Enigma, Scruffy, Bill, and me. It's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna work. So, and honestly, the reason people are leaving to go to YouTube is because they are afraid to be here with us. It's just a fact.
That's true.
But I was to say, but Bill's over on YouTube too. So it's right. It's right.
It's actually the reason why Dog got banned is because of us.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
They had to make room for us.
Don't be surprised if we don't get subpoenaed for that lawsuit. So just saying.
Allegedly. There you go. We covered everything. We covered our trail.
Allegedly, right? Yeah. But welcome in, everybody. It is episode number 49, and excited to be here. This show's actually, for the first time in a long time, we actually do not have we're not gonna be rushed. I say that, and then we'll probably end up still being rushed. But it's coming to the end of the year. There's not as much news. There's not as many things coming out in the gaming kind of world. Now, next episode we have that's gonna be the the Game Awards episode. So, we may do some spicy stuff there where we're gonna.
What a good episode for 50! Holy shit!
Yeah, right. It's gonna be just kind of that end of year. It's almost like we planned it.
Yeah. So it's like we planned it. I completely forgot. That's amazing.
That was it. We planned it. Yeah. Jeez, Bill, giving away all our secrets, bro. So, but in any case, if you are able to tune in live, which we do this live across Twitch as well as the YouTubes, you can come join us inside of our chats, ! Podcast, ! Show. That will get you all up in us. Yep, to be able to chat with all of us, to be able to talk with all of us, interact with us. A lot of times, if you are one of the OGs, you know that we ask you guys questions and we fight. We usually, Enigma and I will usually fight with somebody in chat at least once. If we don't do it one time on the show, it's just not a good show. So who's gonna draw the lucky number this week as being the person that we're gonna go toe to toe with? But otherwise, you can also download us on your favorite podcast apps, anchor.fm/prepatch-podcast. And I got that right only because someone typed in podcast and I saw it. Otherwise I would have fucked it up. But
it's really not that hard, man.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm used to things not being hard. So
that's a problem we have to talk about today.
Man.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Look, can we,
like I said,
got you covered.
Can we
50 already?
I'm just saying, man. Look, it's a perfect ad read, dude. Can we get a sponsorship? I'll take a Cialis if that's even still a thing, or Viagra sponsorship. Anyway, guys, this is what the episode's gonna be like. Just so you guys know, we don't have a lot of topics, so we got to fill it with just random shit. One of which is gonna be my flat. No, I'm just kidding. So
anyways,
all right. But yeah, hopefully you can tune in a lot. If you can't, go and check us out. We've got almost all of the episodes uploaded to there. So
we got almost all the episodes uploaded to YouTube.
Oh, there you go. But thank you again to everybody that is in
I'm
our
being
channels
lazy.
and being in live right now with us. Howdy to all of those people. So as always, Twitch and YouTube news. The YouTube side
news.
of the
Huge news.
YouTube side of things, and Twitch both actually have things to be brought up here. One of which we're going to cover after we cover games that we've been playing. But you know, on the Twitch side of things, this just came out, I believe, yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. But essentially, they have implemented a machine learning kind of banning software. And it's supposed to be used for
banning software.
Yeah, it's basically and I could bring up the article on here, but essentially what it's for is basically to go in and suspicious user activity. So it's trying to stop all of these bots. It's trying to stop all of these people that are kind of doing hate raids and any kind of way that people are abusing the system. What it's going to do essentially is flag the mods and the streamer to let them know, like, hey, this is a suspicious user, you know, do you want to ban them or whatever? And basically what it's doing is, from what I can tell, it's using it off of like their email address and things like that, you know. But the thing is, like, this is going to be turned on. It's actively turned on, like it's automatically turned on. It's not something you have to go in and actually turn on itself. But here's the thing: the announcement included a caveat about the program's accuracy, elaborating, one thing to prepare for, particularly around launch, is that no machine learning will ever be 100% accurate, which means there's a possibility of false positives and false negatives. That's why suspicious user detection doesn't automatically ban all possible or likely evaders. The tool will learn over time from the actions you take, and accuracy of its predictions should improve over time as a result. But
Yeah.
you know
what other machine learning banning situation and bot they have on YouTube? The one that flags for content inside of videos. How great has that been since they implemented it? It's been like 3 years.
I don't know if that's but that's, I mean, I get it, but that's also a little bit different. I think this is a step in the right direction. I mean, I think we've all been saying, like, look, like IP ban or whatever, you know, find ways to ban the software. And the only thing that this is, I do think that is going to have a negative backlash on is because it is people that use VPNs, because there is stuff in here that talks about, like, how it is going to be using addresses and IP and you know, email and all of this kind of stuff to, like, make sure that, like, the people are coming in, because we've all seen it, right? How many times have we gotten a user that's come in, it's just like, you know, Valor
famous.
Yeah, Valor fan 772717777767 says, do you want to be famous and buy users or buy pictures of my penis? Do it now. It's like,
wait, where can I buy this?
Yeah.
There's usually a link. Don't worry, Scruff.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right.
But yeah, those things, right? So it's using some type of software to be able to machine learn and detect those things and say, hey, do you just want to ban these kind of things out? I don't know if it's gonna, again, they're gonna do this, and people are gonna find a way around it. It's like,
so what you're telling me is, instead of working on a full functioning algorithm to help others than the top 1% of streamers, they're doing this.
Yes.
They're always doing something that is not what
what
they should be prioritizing. What I want to know is if this is going
to ban certain high profile, well, high view count streams, quote unquote, that abuse the embed system, because I hate seeing people at the top of categories that don't deserve to be there.
I don't know. I mean, it's like, I've read through this stuff I've read through it twice now to try to understand. I guess
Twitch really has no reason to crack down on people's embed abusing, because it doesn't hurt their bottom line in any way.
No, I mean, it doesn't hurt. I mean, if anything, I would realistically, I think them doing the purple box of death hurt them more than anything, because for someone, and there's one streamer specifically that I think we all know pretty well that embeds it in their website, and their view count is skyrocketed through the roof. For them, they get to go to advertisers and say, hey man, this is the numbers they're pulling, blah blah blah, when in reality it's like a fucking quarter of that. Right. You know, so I think them doing that was actually worse. But I have read through this now 3 times trying to figure out how this thing is going to possibly work.
I could at least see this working well against the host bots and bots similar to those.
Right.
You know, that's a pretty easy target for this
it's
program to get down and crack down on.
And you said they were doing it through email, so I'm assuming like those email generating websites where you can set up a temporary email that's going to fine tune in on those specifically, most likely.
Well, they've also, and something about they're pairing this with like the phone verified chat too to kind of keep hating her. I don't know. This is all their stuff they're saying. Like all of this.
Listen, they should honestly just go 2-factor authenticate for to be able to chat. I think that's the easiest route to go. They don't need any fancy AI to do this. I think that would stem probably a good half of the issues from botted accounts.
True. So I don't know. We'll see. That was a tool that they kind of came out with. Again, I think it's a step in the right direction. But it's still.
Oh. To piggyback off that, I think that personally think that they should have 2-factor authentication no matter what. They should just force it. Like in today's day and age with account hacking and everything like that and data breaches that have happened in the past, I don't understand why companies still don't force 2-factor authentication on their customer base.
Because they don't want to force anything on people unless it's of a certain side or whatever. Let's take Twitter for instance. But so that's Twitch. Like I said, we've also got some other Twitch news, but we'll discuss that after we talk about games that we've been playing. YouTube, Bill, I'm gonna let you talk about this one because obviously this is your home ground. Dislike button, dislikes.
Yeah. Yeah. YouTube got rid of the dislike button's still there. It still is being able to be seen by streamers or YouTubers that on their dashboard page. You can still see the amount of dislikes, you can still see the ratio, but it is not being publicly shown to the viewer base. So any information that you wanted to get from a video based on a like to dislike ratio, if you wanted to see if the video per chance was a scam or was just bullshit or other things, that a proper like to dislike ratio could inform you of, so you didn't waste a significant amount of your time on something, that is gone. You can still kind of do that through like view count to like ratio, I guess is the next best way to do it, but it's still a shitty thing. I was really like, whenever they first announced it, I almost bought in, and for a second I probably did buy in on this is yeah.
There's no possible. You did
for a second.
But. On the they were advertising it as a feature that's supposed to help mid to small content creators so that they didn't get ratioed since their viewer sizes were going to be smaller. A disproportionate amount of likes could hinder growth, especially in those early days. I fully saw that and I was like, yeah, I've got a few videos like that. I wouldn't mind having the dislikes hidden on those. But then I got to looking at it more, and it is very much targeted at certain groups on YouTube, certain channels. A lot of the big like corporate channels, not necessarily YouTubers like us, like the average YouTubers, but like the more corporatized YouTube sphere is what this was really targeted to help.
It's targeted. It's targeted at their 1%. Basically, it's targeted at their highest generating revenue generators. Basically, their highest money generators on the entire thing, and the people that are. I don't want to get political, but the people that are within their same reign of which way they left or which way they lean towards the left or the right. It's very heavily dictated by that.
Yeah. The thing the reason I didn't word it like that was because I don't think like your big YouTubers like the Markipliers and stuff, I don't think this was meant for
it wasn't meant for them. They didn't ask for it. Yeah. The people that have no issue with it, the people that don't have an issue with the dislike button right now, are not the people that asked for this. It's the people that are being ridiculed and told your fucking videos are stupid because they are fucking stupid, and because they have bad takes,
or they're blatant scams.
Yeah, or they're blatant scams. Those are the people that are going to YouTube and be like, I don't like the fact that my dislike button can be seen. The ratio looks so bad when I have a 70,000 dislike versus 2,000 like.
Is that what they sound like? Awesome.
Yeah, it's actually exactly how this.
Interesting.
For instance,
anybody that wants to ridicule my fucking 30% like to dislike ratio video, you can't now. So
for instance, there's a really good one that just came out literally yesterday. I think I posted in the podcast chat. We were talking about it last night. It's the new HBO film with Seth Rogen and shit, right? That video currently has like 400,000 views. As of the time that I looked at it, it had 2.3 thousand likes, but because the dislike button is hidden, you can't see it unless you have an app, or not an app, an add-on for your web browser. Then you can see it, and it's at like 70.
Somebody made that.
Yeah, it's at like 70K dislikes. So 70K to 2.3K.
I mean, I think the thing here too is that what I'll say is, if I saw a video that's got that many views, and then I see that many likes, a common sense, like standard person, I think, would be able to look at it, or an intelligent person would be able to look at it and go, all right, it's got 300,000 views. It's only got 2.4K likes. That probably means that there's more dislikes than there are likes on this video, right? Like,
yeah, that's what I was bringing up, is the view to like ratio is going to be how you're gonna need to tell videos now, unless you get that app, which we knew an application was coming, and I'm happy that it was a quick process on that.
I'm sorry, it's got 500,000 views as of right now, 2.8K views, almost 80K dislikes.
Yeah. So question is that, so this obviously did not curtail. I guess, what was the point of this? Was the point of this to like curtail people from getting discouraged, or like jumping on the bandwagon of being like, oh, there's a bunch of people disliking, so
that's the way that they
advertised it.
Yeah. That's the way that they spun it. But if you read enough into it, and you're at least a modicumly intelligent person, and you want to look at it and be like, okay, this is not for
the ratio doesn't add up.
Yeah, this is not for the base level YouTuber. This is not for the person that's the Markipliers of the world, or the Jacksepticeye guys. The people that are actually making content right now that people are enjoying don't give a fuck. Like, they're not looking at their dislike like ratio and going, oh man, that's rough. They're just making videos. They don't give a shit. It's these like Bill said, the corporatized entities. Yeah.
If they were to
that are releasing terrible takes and going, oh shit, why is our fucking.
And YouTube doesn't want people going in there seeing a big dislike bar and dissuading them from watching the video, pretty much.
Well, so it's YouTube doesn't want them going in there and then ridiculing them for the bad takes or the terrible fucking shit that they've got going on.
So the only issue that I have, because honest to God, like, here's the thing, right? Like, the reality of it is that people, like I said, people are mostly not stupid. I mean, well, I don't know. Okay, I can't say that statement. That's that's not right either.
Redacted.
But I guess my thing is that it's not like it's going to stop people from disliking the video.
It doesn't. Yeah.
And to me, it kind of seems like you're definitely leaning on one side to trying to influence the good versus influencing the dislikes. Why not just go and say, we're going to hide both? Like, you can like or dislike.
It'll happen.
Fuck it. We're just going to hide both.
I think that at some point it'll happen. I think that them hiding the dislike bar or the dislike button is like a trial run. And then here pretty quickly, they'll probably just remove it. Honestly.
To be perfectly honest, I've heard over like the last year that they were planning on phasing out the likes to dislikes and tags like altogether, like from their algorithm.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean,
because as far as I know right now, both likes and dislikes positively feed an algorithm.
That's what I was going to ask. Does that affecting the searchability of your videos and recommended of your videos? So like,
no. So the only thing a dislike does is if you dislike a video, you as that viewer are less likely to get more content from that source. That's
Well,
the only thing a dislike really does
It's not.
algorithmically.
That's not entirely true. I've read plenty of stuff saying that the dislike and like ratios do in fact affect your algorithm standing over time. If you have a lot of videos that are popping up as dislikes, it does affect your algorithm standing inside of like where you are seen on the front page to people's to people's recommended channels to recommended videos at least.
Well, so
Obviously that can't be proven because YouTube doesn't offer up too much information about their algorithm.
So dislikes will stop showing that said person who dislikes that video as much, or that creator as much, but it'll show
over time,
other people that creator more, because it's still a way of
unless
in
like
the
Enigma
algorithm.
was unless what Enigma is saying, where their videos like are consistently generating negative like to dislike ratios, then that channel will start to
I think it's also
the algorithm.
I think it's also affected a lot by your standing in YouTube's hierarchy as well, honestly. Like again, we talk about the corporatized entities. I think they're probably on a list of people that don't need to worry about that kind of shit,
Okay.
Because we know for a fact that YouTube has ghost bans. We know for a fact that YouTube has a list of people that can't be touched as well, just like
shadow
Twitch
bans.
has.
I mean, the shadow, like, here's the thing too about all of these, companies, and they'll tell you that they don't exist, but shadow bans, ghost bans, all that stuff exists. Those are all tools.
100%.
And the reality, whether you're left or right or anything, and again, we're not going to go political, but it's like everybody needs to know and understand that like these companies are led by people that have their own feelings, that have their own agendas, and it is a free to use company that they can do whatever they fucking feel like. So like, even though we consider it a social platform, even though we consider it's like freedom of speech,
to an extent,
in reality, it's not. They can ban anybody like they
again to an extent.
Want. Well, they can't.
You can't as a company fall back on the freedom of speech if you're acting as an entity that's publishing content, that's publishing like news and shit. There's a section of the, at least in the US, if you're a company in the US, there's a section like Twitter got in a lot of trouble for that. Facebook got in a lot of trouble for that, for basically being public entities that were publishing something. I can't remember the exact terminology that they used, but
I don't think it stops. I think publishing is different. What I'm saying is something that, are you saying that, because what I'm talking about is just a user in general. If I want to go in there and I want to post a bunch of stuff, right? Because we've seen it too, and they will just make up some bullshit.
I'm talking about a company. I'm talking about like the actual company, not the individual entities.
Right. I'm talking about like Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, whatever. If I want to go and start posting a bunch of stuff that they don't necessarily agree with, they have the ability and technically the right to just stop it. I mean, to take it down.
Again, to an extent, as the company, if they go by the monarch of where freedom of speech, then technically, yes, they do have that option because they are a privately owned business. They're probably a privately owned entity, and they can do whatever they want to. But if they start doing things like, say with the last election with like Twitter and shit, they were, shutting down certain people and certain conversations. They can't do that unless they're a publisher, and then they, like, again, I can't remember the certain terminology, but they got in a lot of trouble with it for the US Congress. That's why Jack Dorsey and what's his name, Facebook's robot, went in there recently, was because of that whole situation. But yes, technically as a private entity, if they don't like what you're saying, they can go in and say, okay, well, you need to stop that.
Okay, well,
but there are certain not monarchies, but there are certain like rule sets if they go by a certain type of publishing event or whatever it's called. I'm explaining it very, very terribly.
Well,
but there are certain things in the U.S. Constitution, at least the state, that if you're going by this such and such of an acronym, then you can't just stop people from saying something.
Ultimately, to bring this back into the gaming kind of sphere and I almost said sphincter spectrum, is the big thing here, which I think this is becoming a bigger and bigger thing as we see content creation, really has been taking off over the last several years, but has becoming, people aren't going to news sites anymore. People are going to content creators. People aren't going to these things. They're watching streams. TV, has become less and less effective as a place for advertisement, but is the idea that you see a lot of content creators that are actually saying like, hey, like we want more control over our content versus it being deemed like right now, if YouTube wanted to say for whatever reason, I don't like Bill's channel, or Twitch wants to say, I don't like, Sin or Scruffs or Enigma's channel, they can go and go hit the button, right? And kind of go, all right, well, you're turned off. And it's just like, wait, fuck, you just fucked with my, like, well, I mean, not in our case, but you still fucked with our livelihood. You fucked with, a lot of stuff that we don't have control over. So a lot of, creators are kind of getting behind this idea. There's talks of like creator unions becoming a thing. All of this kind of stuff to kind of try to combat this idea that like, hey, look, these are big entities that do have the ultimate, red light, green light on our careers, and jobs.
This is also why you're seeing a lot of these, like the dislike button being removed, or at least being able to not being able to be seen, is because a lot of people are going to like YouTube and individual creators for their news outlets, and that's why a lot of these entities like the Fox, CNN, everything like that is starting to move into YouTube, starting to move into new age media rather than old age media, essentially, right? And in doing so, they're starting to try and push YouTube and these other content creation sites into a more friendly version for themselves, rather than the standard Joe Schmo creator like you and I.
Well, that's why, you go and watch Bill's channel, because nobody ever dislikes Bill's channel. How can you dislike that face? Look at that face. Look at that smile. There you go. You can't dislike that. So
you know what we need? We need a dislike button on Twitch.
I'm all of those dislikes on his videos right here. Sorry, Bill.
There's always that one person that as soon like within the first hour of video drops, there's a dislike, and I'm like, who the
Of course,
fuck?
man. It's me.
do you guys remember?
You just realized.
Do you guys remember on it was Beam? It wasn't Mixer at the time, but they had the ability. You had the ability in there to dislike a video, like dislike a stream.
Yeah.
And it would show like, dude, I love that idea, man. Fucking go in there and just start like. You want to talk about the epitome of hate raids? Like just so fucking just. Could you imagine Twitch with that?
See how that would go on Twitch.
Oh god. Oh my god, it would blow up. It would just fucking just implode.
Yeah, it would be implemented. People are like, oh, this is funny. Dislike.
Yeah, it would be terrible. Anyway, well, moving on. As always, after this segment, we talk about games that we've been playing. And since we're talking about the YouTubeums, Bill, why don't you start us off, bud? You were playing a Dark Souls. I'm playing
Dark Souls 3 still.
Yeah, Dark Souls 3 mod, right?
This isn't the same one you showed before, though, right?
No, this is a new one. I just started this one up this week. This is last week, or the last few weeks, we were doing the Cinders mod, which to Dark Souls 3 is like a Dark Souls 3 plus, basically. It's very much the standard Dark Souls 3 experience as far as bosses and level designs and all that stuff goes, but they added a bunch of stuff to it. They added a bunch of spells to it. Everything's rebalanced so that the majority of things were viable. This is the Convergence mod, and what the Convergence mod is for Dark Souls 3 is a complete overhaul to level design. It is a complete overhaul to bosses and boss design. Some bosses aren't even in this game compared to Dark Souls 3. Like Gundyr, the tutorial boss, he does not exist as far as I have seen in that capacity.
Is there something replaced there? Oh yeah, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, he's replaced with a different boss, the Hound.
You a necromancer?
I am a necromancer. I was gonna, I was gonna get to that point.
I'm sorry. What?
Let the man talk. Jesus fuck.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. You said necromancer. What?
I'm a necromancer in this Dark Souls 3 mod. I summon skeletons and they do my bidding.
You want to send me that mod? Yeah. I could be a Dark Souls 3 streamer.
So it's not a like I can only have one mob out at a time, but I have a large range of.
Oh, fuck that then. No, never mind. I'm good.
You can't have an army of skellies, but I can have like a very strong skelly that I can buff and heal.
Not
and
a
stuff
necromancer,
like that.
bro.
Not a necromancer.
Not a necromancer.
But I'm using a little skull hand
to
to shoot skulls at people.
Listen. All right, we need to get past this whole. If you have skulls on your fucking attire or on your entity at all, you are not a necromancer. Okay, you're just
Yo,
an
I've
edgy
got a hood
fuckboy.
with a skull.
You're just an edgy fuckboy.
I shoot skulls and I can summon a skeleton or a.
You're just an edgy
undead
fuckboy with
soldier.
possibly a little bit of necrophilia, tendencies. Okay.
So you're just an edgy summoner. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
You should have seen me in high school.
Oh my God.
That's
Okay.
true. That's true.
Tell me more about this fucking mod.
So it, like I was saying, it's a complete overhaul to the Dark Souls 3 system as you know it. If you're familiar with the game, the area we're in right now is the very beginning area. The lighting's changed, the mood's changed. In later areas in the game, they actually open up pathways so that you traverse things in a different way. Like I'm at a 3-way crossroad right now where I can go down into the swamps, I can go into the undead crypts, or I can go back and do a side area of the undead settlement. It opens up a significant amount more pathing. Balancing seems fairly good. It does definitely seem like they've upped the difficulty factor in a few ways with the bosses and stuff. If you want to skip like 5 or so minutes ahead, maybe it should showcase one of the bosses of the mod. But it's a refreshing take. If you have been like I have been, and you've played Dark Souls 3 to absolute death, you've done every run that you can think about doing with the game. It's a really refreshing way to experience the core of Dark Souls, but get a completely new experience. The Cinders mod was cool because it gave me a reason to go exploring things, because there was a lot of stuff that they added that was new that I could find through exploring. This, everything is new, from the environments to the bosses. It's a really good time so far. I'm not very far into it. I will have more to talk about probably the next time we have a podcast.
I might have missed something. Did they add custom bosses into the game, or just did they bring back like old bosses?
Yes. So custom bosses, like the boss that you just saw whip my ass is the watchdog of
Firelink?
Kiln, I think is what, or something like that.
Yep.
Okay.
But what they've done is they've actually taken movesets from Sekiro, and they've incorporated Sekiro movesets into bosses of this game.
Does that translate well?
It has.
Isn't Sekiro much like faster paced?
So the ones that I've experienced, they have toned down the speed. They have the ability to tone down the animations to match the pacing of Dark Souls 3 a little bit better. But there's a druid that is a boss where the cursed rotted greatwood would be, and he has a wolf that he will, while you're fighting, he will like use that to like go out and attack, and then it kind of like dissolves into like a green glow. But he has the boss owl from Sekiro's moveset. He does a lot of leap backs. He is very nimble. He does a lot of projectile stuff where he throws like will-o'-the-wisps at you and stuff. It's really, really well done, and it does translate well. The animations aren't janky in the slightest. Everything seems very, very smooth.
Which mod so far has been your favorite?
I really enjoyed Cinders. I don't think I'm far enough into this one to give that take so far. This one's been pretty overwhelming as far as the new stuff that they've added. They've branched off magic into 12 different sects of magic. So you have necromancy, blood magic, air magic, lightning,
12 different
heals, sects, yes. Pyromancies.
I think it was that kind of mod.
Jesus
hexes, cryomancies, geomancies.
I think you mean sexes, not hexes.
Somebody throw a bucket of cold water on him.
But it's been very overwhelming. There's a lot of new mechanics that I'm still trying to piece together. So it's been a little bit of a slow, and there's been some frustrations with it. But I think once I get everything figured out, it's probably going to be my favorite mod that I've played thus far.
Has the modding community for Dark Souls been around for a while, or is this kind of, because like this seems to be something new that you've kind of started to do? You know, is it?
I'm behind on the times. As far as these high quality mods, they have only popped up within the last couple years. I'm assuming COVID has shut people in and given mod developers a lot more time to work on their projects, because over these last like couple years, some really massive mods have came out, such as the Convergence, such as Cinders. I did the Augur of Darkness mod for Dark Souls 2, which changed up landscapes and areas of that game significantly. There's a mod coming out for Dark Souls 1 that actually got delayed. As funny as that is, they had a release date ready for it, and they pushed it back since Elden Ring got pushed back. They also are taking a month to polish the game, and I'm trying to remember what that mod is called. Nightfall. Dark Souls Nightfall. It's supposed to be a extensive mod, just like the Convergences, where it completely changes up how you go about playing Dark Souls 1, and I'm very excited about that one.
It's cool. I mean, again, we've all said it before that modders really is what makes a game have length and replayability behind it.
This is why From Software doesn't go Epic exclusive.
So, yeah, well, so I mean, we thought the same thing about Darkest Dungeon, but look at that. So, you know, I think it's just cool that that this is something that they continue to do. And again, I know like the Dark Souls community and the Souls community, you know, are rabid, and I think that it's I mean, I enjoy seeing and hearing that they are bringing more stuff out for this. Like, this is stuff that like I would go back and play, even though like I am nowhere close to being as obsessed with Dark Souls as what you are or the community is with. But I like seeing new ways to play the game, you know, and different things. So it's cool.
I like that this one doesn't make it as linear.
Question
like that.
Question: how's the AI on your little undead dude right there?
Honestly, it's a lot better than I expected. You can
looked a little rough for that boss fight.
He just seems slow for that fast-paced boss.
He's just slow. You can actually through overworld like stuff, they give you 2 gems. They give you a green separation crystal, where you can de-summon him and then resummon him at you if he gets like stuck somewhere. But you also get a red crystal that lets you like choose who he targets, and it'll kind of like, if he's veering off somewhere you don't want him to, you can kind of get him back on the assignment.
It's the only problem with a lot of these mods. Like every time that I've downloaded like a mod for like a game like this, like I think the recent one that I did was Mountain Blade, the new one, Bannerlord 2. They had a Necromancer mod, and man, the fucking AI is horrendous. Holy shit!
Yeah, the pathing for the pathing for the AI so far has actually surprised me. It's not great. But I would probably say it's like roughly Skyrim level AI. Yeah. I know that's like not a great
low tier pathing still, but
it gets the job done, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, he's able to follow me. He's not getting hung up on tombstones. It works out.
That's good.
He's a skeleton. He's a little janky in his own way.
Yeah.
You want to know how we fixed that in Diablo 2?
We just filled
every part of the fucking map.
I was gonna say, what, you just summoned so many that you don't have to worry about it anymore? You're like, fuck it. Doesn't matter what pathing is, everything is taken up. Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah, the Convergence mod. I'm gonna continue playing that on my live stream on YouTube for the next couple weeks.
Convergence modder, whoever made this, make it so I can summon more fucking skeletons, and I'll be happy. I will play it. Okay, I will. I have never played Dark Souls in general. Like, I own it. I've never played it. I will play it.
It would break the game, dude. It would not be Dark Souls at that point. It would just break.
How many do you need?
Like 40.
Get out of here, dude. Jeez.
And that's on the low end too, man. Like 40, 50 is on the low end.
One thing I will say about this mod, though, is the performance. Dark Souls games have never had like amazing performance on PC. They're usually hard locked to 60 frames, and they do have instances where they will get like super chuggy if there's enough particle effects and stuff on the stream. This mod has been like dropping some frames pretty consistently. I'm probably sitting around like 45 frames through
like a memory leak or something.
Maybe a memory leak. They have a lot of like environmental particle effects that I think are adding to it as well.
Yeah. Are you able to dedicate more RAM to it?
Yes.
That helps sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, could you imagine having 40 fucking zombies on with like what Enigma wants? Are you kidding me?
Right.
You're lucky to get 1 frame.
Conservative side too. I would actually like more.
Oh jeez.
But yeah, it's a good mod. I'm enjoying it. I'll have a more fleshed out take whenever we get to the next podcast.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Enigma, you've been playing a VR game called Resist? Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. So tell me about Resist.
It's pretty good fun. I saw this about a week or two ago. I was waiting to play it, but unfortunately with the stuff that's been happening recently, I wasn't able to actually pick it up until recently. Just so we're aware, this is not my footage. This is from I think it's VR Wolf is his name. I couldn't get any footage, unfortunately, but it's a good time, man. Like it really, when I was looking at it, it's the first open world kind of like superhero game that's been on the VR in general, as far as I can tell. At least that's what a lot of people say. It heavily reminds me of Spider-Man, like the new Spider-Mans and everything like that. Not just the city, but like the swinging. It's
more lively than Cyberpunk, so that's already
it is more lively than Cyberpunk. It's got the same kind of like physics-based swinging as like Spider-Man does in general. Only you can actually like control stuff. Like you can control the direction that you're swinging. You can kind of control the direction and like speed of your swings with certain abilities and everything like that. If you fast forward a little bit from this, it kind of goes into actual like swinging through the city.
Is he pressure washing of building?
Yeah, it's I mean, it's, you know,
that's why you like it. It's just a simulator.
Yeah, it's a simulator. It's glass washing simulator, you know.
I was gonna say that's literally pressure washing simulator. That's awesome.
But yeah, no, it's a really fun game, man. It's really short.
Duty right here.
What's that?
It's your hero duty right here.
Pressure wash.
That's
what everybody wants in their heroes.
On the low of the Avengers right now.
Washing. Hey man,
hey Spider-Man, while you're up there, can you pressure wash my window?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you got to think like when Spider-Man's flying around the the buildings of New York City, who the fuck's washing all that shitty?
Who's all the webs and shit? Yeah.
Who's washing that shit?
So
I am.
Side note,
I am is this guy. I'm the one that has to go up there and
the window washer. So side note, there is a very, very good. I'll get the name of the comic book and I'll tweet it out. But there's a phenomenal comic book that goes into the people that clean up after all of like the Avengers and whatever else.
Heard of that?
And it's in like they're quoted to having like superpower abilities, but they don't. They're just a cleanup crew. It's really fucking great. Anyway, sorry.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
Yeah, it's funny. This game though is like one of the only games so far like that I've seen that I've watched and I've looked down and been like, oh shit, that actually feels like I'm way far up in the fucking sky. Like it's an insane. It's crazy. It took me about 20 minutes to get used to kind of like being that high, because I have an extreme fear of heights.
Back to pressure.
Like extreme fear of heights.
Trigger that for me too.
Yeah. And
how does this like? Where is this on your like ratio from like heights to dolls to little girl?
Heights bug me. I get really bad vertigo on occasion with heights. I would still say that like dolls are still my biggest.
Now, what if you were stuck on a skyscraper
right
surrounded by dolls?
No, I'd be done. I'd jump off, dude. Fuck that. I'm done. Just senpuku me. Sudoku me.
Here you go. Here's your swinging.
Yeah, so it's got, like I said, it's got physics-based
fucking vomit, dude.
It took me, like I said, it took me like 20 minutes to get used to it, because it does. It like they start you out very slow on the swings. Like it starts you out in like a simulation, and the dude's like, okay, well now that you can swing, I'm gonna speed it up 70%. And you're like, wait, that wasn't that was only 20% of speed. He's like, yeah, fuck you. You're gonna be having fun.
I mean, it looks fluent though. Actually,
it is very fluid. It is.
Hey, it's
very
a lot
like
more
it's
fluid
on
than the
Titan.
Marvel Avengers.
And then
Fucking.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we'll be talking about that later, but it's 100% better than the Marvel.
Is this Oculus or
This is
Steam?
Oculus. Yeah, this is straight off Oculus.
Store. Okay.
But it's a good time, man. Like in comparison to as we said before, Marvel Avengers, like I think this is a far superior hero game in general. And you're not even a superhero. You're just
Not your fucking window washer with
you're just
with
some,
guns and
some chick that picked up a couple of fucking swinging hands and just started doing it. It's crazy.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
The only problem with the game is it is extremely short. I will tell you that. I haven't finished it, but I think I've been playing it for maybe
no
5
way.
hours.
I'm
close.
I'd fucking yak, dude. There's no watching him go around and like swing around in the way that he's doing that. There's no fucking way, dude.
They should come out with like an endless mode of like.
They do.
Like,
they. I mean, it's a free roam city. You can do whatever the fuck you want to in the city. You don't have to go and do the. You don't have to go and do the missions and everything like that. They actually have a lot of like discoverability items inside the city as well. Like they have collectibles. They have challenges inside the city. They got this one challenge from this asshole that is literally like the epitome of the 18-year-old fucking influencer types of today. And he's like, hey, yo, bro, me and you, we're gonna go far, man. I'm streaming you, and this, we're gonna make so much money, man. I'm an influencer, and that's what I do. That's my superpower. That's my superpower, man. I'm an influencer, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. I am never doing your goddamn challenges again.
Huh. You should if you want to do height wise. There's something called the plank. It's on Steam. I think it's free if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen it. No, yeah. I'm good.
It will. Yeah, no, that's literally what it's like. You start off on a very small building, and then you go up to like a higher building and a higher building and a higher building, and you just kind of keep going up, and eventually, I think you end up on like. It's done by Google, but you end up on like Dubai's fucking tower, and you're just standing on a plank.
It's crazy though.
Yeah.
Like going up to the top of they've got one building that's like the highest building in the game, and going up on top of that and looking over the edge, I was like, I started sweating. It does a really good job of like actual.
Nobody likes a sweaty Enigma.
Yeah, it was rough, man. It was rough. I had to clean out my fucking visor a little bit after.
Ew, gross. Nasty.
But it's fun, man. I think it's like $30, so it's a little expensive. I got it on sale for like 26.
15 to 20 would be.
Yeah.
15 if it's that short of a game.
It's definitely a short game. I don't know if it's worth the $30. I think that you could probably get 30 hours worth of content out of it if you just kind of roamed around the city and just had fun.
That seems
swinging around.
That seems expensive. That's the only thing I will say about VR games is that VR games right now is like the pricing is just completely fucked. Like you either have games that are way like underpriced for what they are, like you have Compound, stuff like that are just underpriced for what they are, and you have games that are just way expensive that are just, not worth it. Not saying this is one of those. I think that's pretty steep.
Yeah. Well, I 100% I agree that this one I don't think it's worth $30.
Is this like live service or is this like done?
No, this is just you buy it and that's what you get.
So,
there's no cash shop or anything like that. There's nothing.
So Crystal Dynamics isn't doing it.
Plan for more content.
Nope, not as far as I've seen at least. I mean, there might be.
They introduce free deals,
but I highly doubt it.
But yeah, I don't know. 30 is like a bit much.
Cool.
It does though. I think I spent 2 hours just swinging around the city.
They could do like a multiplayer version. I could see them doing something like that. Like that would be kind of cool. Like to have like a multiplayer.
I personally think that we need to see more like superhero games with multiplayer in them, because like honestly, there's not too many of them these days.
This would be sweet in a VR mode.
And VR definitely, yeah. Like VR has nothing to it with superhero games. Unfortunately, they've got a like a demo of something that they brought out for when Spider-Man Far From Home came out, which was kind of like this, where you could kind of like swing through the city.
Well,
it was like a production. It was like an introduction and like more of a demo.
You should try the Iron Man one because it's actually really good.
Is it? Yeah, I've seen a couple of them, and I'm like, okay, that looks kind of cool. But
yep, Iron Man is actually really, really good. There's also the Vader stuff is
Vader
actually
did look good,
really good too. I mean, it's not superhero, but it's still
but that is one major issue that I can see with VR is that like the games, just like you said, they're way overpriced for what you get. Most VR games are only like 2, 3, 4 hours long at most. There are a couple of them that are
You're paying for the experience.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where I think that until developers start actually developing like long form games for it, it's not going to go anywhere. But
well, from
it was fun.
my impression,
I enjoyed
VR is not meant to be like played for extensive amounts of time anyway. It's
not
still
right now.
like
not right now, at least.
Not right now.
I mean, if you
That's
take
heading, but
you take games like I say you take games like Half-Life Alyx or like Boneworks, and those games are absolutely like showcase what a long form game can be in VR and be an enjoyable experience. And I also too would say Enigma, there are a lot of mods for Boneworks that will give you the superhero aspect.
Well, it's the same thing for Sword and
I've
Sorcery.
seen a lot of mods for those. Yeah,
it's like Sword and Sorcery has a shit ton of mods that make it like extremely fun to play, from what I've heard. I just need to buy it. I need to bite the bullet and spend the $30 or find it on sale for a decent price.
Yeah,
but it's a good time, man. If you guys got the $30, or if you find it on sale for like $15-$20, something like that, I would definitely pick it up if you have a Quest.
What is it? Because
it's a good time.
Quest.
It's Quest.
Quest Store.
I think that they have plans for bringing it to Steam VR at some point.
Okay.
But right now it's a Quest native. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, moving on. We all played a game called when I say we all, myself, Enigma, Scruffy, and another one of our good buddy content creators, Hey Tony, played a game called Wildermyth. This game, I was not okay. So when I got the game, I got it on sale, and I will say it's worth every fucking penny. Now playing it, worth every penny, full price.
100%.
But when I picked it up, I was expecting like a board game style kind of RPG-esque game, which is what it is. But holy shit, man, the game it's For the King with it's a deeper For the King. It is got some Divinity thrown in there, and then D&D, and then the dialogue and like stuff that you can do in this legitimately is hilarious. And so this
are we on the part where my
yeah, this is when your son becomes a fucking werewolf dog furry thing. So the whole there's no voice acting in the game, so we're reading this and we're reenacting it in basically D&D style, like we're each having our own voices. By the way, Scruffy and Enigma, but especially Scruffy, cannot do a voice without it going country for whatever fucking reason. Every person starts off at a certain point and then goes fucking country every single time. But the cool thing about this game is that it is it's decision based, right? So the object of it is that you have to have you go through and basically you're doing missions just like you were in For the King, right? And there is actually, if you can kind of see it at the top of the middle of the screen, there's like a calamity meter and then an incursion meter. That's kind of what's progressing you along, because everything that you do takes a certain amount of days to complete. And based on those days, like new things are going to happen. Whereas on For the King, like new mobs will spawn. This is basically you going and discovering new areas and going and completing the quest. And then inside the quest, you go and do some combat. And I'm actually going to fast forward here to get to some combat. Let's see. Let's go here. Yep. So this is kind of what the combat system looks like. The art style is phenomenal. It is this like 2D hand-drawn art style. And to answer one of the questions, do you have to have a group of friends to play? No, you can do it by yourself. It's up to 5 characters. The cool thing about it, it's remote remote play. So like if you buy it and you want one of your friends to play, you can give them access to it. So you only have to have one person purchase it to play with at least 2 people. I know that. I don't know if more.
That's pretty cool.
I will say too is it does work pretty well in a single player aspect too, because there's no real like initiative roles between enemies and your teammates or whatever. You can control anyone you want at any specific point. So I'd say it works single player as well.
I like this like paper cut out Final Fantasy Tactics style board.
Yeah.
And so the cool thing about it too is like as you're playing, there at the start you get 3 different classes: warrior, hunter, and mage. But the mage is very different. The mage is actually kind of a almost like an enchanter in the sense that you enchant, you interfuse with other terrain, and based on the terrain that you interfused with will give you spells that you can cast, which is really cool.
It's like a druid.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of like a not really a druid, but more of like a shaman of sorts. You can infuse like a piece of rock, and you get a discus throwing ability where it throws a rock at people. You can infuse fire, and you get like a flare ability or a flamethrower ability. You know,
wood splinters.
Yeah.
I can go pick up a rock and throw it at somebody. Does that
Pretty
make
much,
me a
man.
shaman?
Yes,
it does. Absolutely. The thing that really sets this game apart, the combat system is fun. I mean, it's pretty standard, I think, in a lot of ways, but it's fun. But really what sets it apart is the dialogue options and things that happen in the game. For instance, we started the game and it was...
Is it static or procedural, first off?
It's procedurally generated. Yep, it's all procedurally generated. Okay. The initial... So the quest line that you do is a static quest line. Like you'll have the same... you have options to choose from of which one, but like we chose to do the first one, and it still does the same. Like you've got to go here to start off with. Like your very first mission will be the same. After that, it's procedurally generated.
You can play like different stories. So
right. But we got into it, and I was the person that started off, so I had to go find Scruffy. I found Scruffy, right? And then we had to go find Enigma, and Enigma was in a tower. Well, one of the options was like, hey, Scruffy, how do you feel about having to go find Enigma? And it was like friendship, like romance,
rivalry, friendship, or romance.
Yeah. And he was like, fuck you. And was just like, you're a fucking ass or whatever else. And like, why are you stuck in this fucking tower? And so that just completely changed the dialogue of like the relationship between him and Enigma.
So now we banter all the time, any chance we really can.
There's like a real back and forth. The way that you build your character will determine a lot of things too. Like you can become like I think I'm like a snarky hothead, and Scruffy's like
fucking Scruffy's a ladies' man. I can't fucking pick up ladies.
I think he's like a poetical greed wagon is Scruffy or some shit like that or whatever. But there's just a lot of freedom in the options that you get to choose, and we all of a sudden had a fucking kid. Like Enigma had a kid out of nowhere. Like because when you complete a mission, it'll be like, oh, you have like 10 years
knocked up in the tower.
Well, it was like so when you
hopefully Enigma didn't get knocked up.
Oh, I didn't get knocked up. I was playing a male, but you know,
when you have a complete a quest, you have 10 years or a certain amount of time of like what's called peace. And in that time, it like tells you things that happen. Scruffy went searching for women. Or whatever. Didn't find any.
You went hunting a golden stag or something.
Yeah, I went out and hunted a stag. I think Enigma ended up. I
planted some trees.
He planted some trees, and didn't Tony find a group of cats? I think was.
Oh yeah, so Tony found a group of cats and then got ousted by them. Or something like that.
Or whatever.
He's scared of them or something.
And then we go to start our second mission, and all of a sudden it's like this other person shows up in our party. And we're like, who the fuck is this? And he's like, oh, I'm Enigma's son. And we're like, what the fuck? Where did this happen at?
Been planting some seeds, if you know what I'm saying.
So now he's part of the group, and you know, you get to play with him. And you can name them. Your stats all matter. Like you can stat them out. You can really change up your play style to what you want.
Is it permadeath?
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Yeah. The character. Well, Tony did die, but we had an option of being able to bring him back.
I think that was because of the mission that we were on.
Yeah,
I
the
think
staff or
if
something
he
like
had just died out in the open, I think he would have been dead.
Yeah.
Well, it still gives you that choice of, do you want to die or do you want to play through the game -2 permanent?
Okay, I thought it would just kill you 100%.
But there was that option during that mission, since he had the mission item, to lose that.
The other cool thing about this too is like there are things like I said that will just randomly happen. So I think Scruffy.
Wait. I gotta say, I named my kid My Mistake because we didn't know what the fuck.
Yeah, we didn't know where. So you can name your characters, and he named him My Mistake, because again he didn't know what the fuck what it was and where it came from. But there's things that happen throughout the game that are completely, like I said, just random. When Scruffy and I played, Scruffy got a stone stuck in his eye because he chose to try to take this stone out of a rock, and it lodged in his face.
The gem shot into my eye, so I had a gem eye.
And when we completed the first mission and 10 years passed, it goes in and you look at Scruffy's character, and he, like, it says like his left arm had been like taken over by this fucking gem and had become like this scythe thing. So then he gets a special ability in combat where he can scythe arm somebody because he's got like this.
That's pretty dope.
That was the same thing with my son. As my son had a random ability. We went out in the forest one time, and this god on this hill started talking to us and wanting to know what his name was, and this and that in between. And it came down to you guys saw it in a previous, when we were talking about previously. My son turned into a wolf, like he's got a wolf head, and because he had that transformation, he has a bite attack now.
Yeah. So it's really cool. I got tentacled. Bill, you can get tentacled.
Yeah, he did get tentacled.
He got deep tentacle.
Yep. So I now have a blue face.
In fact, he got tentacled so hard that I dedicated my staff's name to it and its backstory, and dedication to the time that Cinders got a tentacle up his booty hole.
Yep. That's true. So, and there's a lot of customization options with like you can choose whether you want to be able to be open to romances, closed off, if you want to be able to romance male, female, all of that kind of stuff. And this is showing in here, like I can give NPCs, like, so you can control NPCs in certain battles. So you can give control over to your buddies and play as them. The one downfall I will say is that there are some weird issues with multiplayer where like it'll back you out of a screen randomly, but because I don't think the system is like true, like it's set up for multiplayer, but it's also like very wonky because everybody's taking their turn at the exact same time. So we have done it to where we have said like, hey, I'm gonna take my turn, you're gonna take your turn, to kind of actually make it turn based, but it's all happening in real time. So
I think that's a bit of a mistake on their part, because like I think the game would feel better if it had a turn-based structure to it.
If it had that initiative check, I think it'd be better.
But
it looks like they're from Doug. That cartoon Doug.
Yeah.
There's also
my first character looked a lot like Shaggy.
But there's a lot of mods too. I've actually looked at the mods, and a whole bunch of mods, missions, new characters, new armor types, new classes.
Good.
I mean, just
in the base game there is only 3 main class types, being the warrior.
Well, that's the starters, right?
That's what I'm saying. There's warrior, hunter, and
the mage.
Mage,
User, mage.
Yeah, and they can kind of branch off. Like the hunter can be like a rogue or a hunter. Warrior, do they get anything out like a? Like
I mean,
like
they turn into like paladins. Like you can turn into like paladins and stuff like that. So the thing is,
weapons kind of a little bit too.
Yeah,
what you can do. But
it's that, and then you also get to choose based on when you level up, you get a set of abilities that you can choose from, and then you can re-roll those abilities. If you don't like what you've got and stuff. So it's a fun game. It's great. It's absolutely worth every penny.
What's it called?
Wildermyth. Yep. Okay. Definitely recommend checking it out. For sure.
Bill needs to pick it up sometime. I think we'd have a lot of fun.
Yep.
I have players.
I have legitimately not laughed this hard.
Oh, dude, we were crying.
In a long time, dude. Like there was one point, I can't remember if it was when I had a kid or if it was prior to that. I was literally in tears. I could not stop fucking laughing.
Yeah, it was great.
I was laughing in character.
It was fucking. It's great. It's a great game. Wildermyth.
The only part, the one of the biggest shitty fucking portions of it though, like for the first like half of the fucking first campaign, I was nowhere to be seen, bro. Like
that's because you were playing your fucking seed apparently. So
Like it favors it. I don't know if it favored like the fact that.
Well, no, because in the second part, you're not a lot.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. I don't know if it favored like the fact that you and Scruffy started off as friends, and because you and Scruffy started off as friends, like I was shunned off to the side or whatnot. But I did. I felt like a third wheel, man.
Yeah.
You were stuck in a tower by yourself.
I was like at one point I was like, "Hey guys, I'm still back here. I'm at the entrance."
I was also gonna say that the game almost seems to favor the first like initial 3 players for the main story a little bit, but it does include the other 2 players through random encounters and side missions and stuff as well.
That's the thing I was gonna say is that you actually have pretty good drop in, drop out as well, because for instance, like Tony came in halfway through our mission, and all we had to go do is basically just go to a town and recruit somebody, and then he popped up. So
even being under level, like he was still putting up a fair fight, especially once we gave him like a dope.
I was about to say we gave him like the fucking
and then
spear of destiny,
the biggest like damage dealer on our team at that point.
Right. So it does a very good job there, and you get to choose on where you want. So like if you just say like, "Hey Tony, stay in town," like if we play and Tony's not there, or Bill, you're not playing or whatever else, we can leave your character somewhere, and then we can still go off and complete missions and things like that, and then come back, pick you back up, and continue to go on. So very, very friendly. Again, phenomenal game, and it's hilarious. I mean, it really is.
Great art style. So, I love the art style.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now the other game that we again, we've pretty much all been playing with myself. Well, again, I don't mean to say all, but myself, Scruffy, and Enigma.
Always on the sideline.
Sorry, you don't play Battlefield. So
nah. Game looks kinda not my steez. Glad y'all are having fun with it though.
Yeah. So the reason that we brought this up last week, that we've been playing it. Obviously, it launched last week.
I can't talk about Halo.
But we can talk about Halo too. I mean, I've been playing Halo. I actually, nope. We'll let me talk about this, then we'll talk about Halo.
This is where the spice comes in. This
so, the reason I bring this up is like that we've been putting a lot of time into this, and I think we can all agree like this game is getting unfair fucking hate.
I don't think
I'd say there's a big portion of it that's unfair. Then there still is a portion that it
has issues. I'm not saying it doesn't have issues. And I'm not saying that it doesn't have game breaking bugs in it, but
nobody should have expected the game to come out flawlessly looking at the past Battlefield releases. This has actually probably been one of the best.
I mean, I wouldn't even go that far. I wouldn't even say that nobody should have expected it. I would just say that nobody should expect that from any game these days. Like with the recent fucking performance that we've had from every game that's released, I'm surprised that people still to this day are like, "Hey, I want a game that releases 100% good," because it's not going to fucking happen. I don't want to get too proud
of Battlefield. We'll get back into that for just a second, but like, it's sad to see that that's like the standard of games releasing nowadays is to be expected of them to be released. In a
terrible. I said the same thing when the fiasco with Cyberpunk happened. Right? Obviously, people overhyped the shit out of Cyberpunk. Obviously, it had bugs. It was a terrible fucking release. But it wasn't unplayable for 9/10 of the fucking player base. Like it was unplayable for people on old PS4s and people on the old Xbox. Which, if you thought that was gonna fucking play on the old PS4 and the old Xbox, you were fucking morons.
Right. All right. But anyways, back to Battlefield.
Well, what I was gonna say is that this game, I have played every single Battlefield that has come out. Every single one that has come out, including fucking Hardline. Like, how many of you people can actually say you've owned Hardline and played Hardline? I have played it, right? That is the worst Battlefield ever to have come out. And so for this one to get that kind of hate, like, this is the most playable, functioning Battlefield to have launched, period. Like, minus 1942. That was but that was their very first one. But this
back when gaming companies actually gave a shit about their releases,
right? But I mean, the game, like, what I wanted to say about it is that, and why I bring this up is because the patch just came out and the update just came out. It fixed a lot of stuff, and that's the one thing that I will say where this to me is very different than a lot of other game companies is that this game technically launched it launched 2 weeks ago, I think. On the 19th. Yep. The 19th is when it actually officially launched, or the 12th, one of the two. But like they were on it with like patching stuff within days, if not like within 24 hours to 48 hours of patching shit. I don't know. I'm just saying the game is fucking fun. They're continuing to do right by it. And on top of that, like they just came out with the whole thing about EA being like, look, like this is pretty much the Battlefield universe that we are going to build and play in. Their whole thing is that dude scared the shit out of me when he did that. This whole, like, this is the world Battlefield using Battlefield Portal, where they want to continue to do things and bring Battlefields into kind of one universe. Which I think is cool. I think that's a great idea to be like, hey, look, like we're going to bring, Battlefield 2, we're going to bring Bad Company 2, Bad Company 1, 1942, 1943, all the maps. Like, why not, man? Fucking
1943 Vietnam. That was such a great game.
Yeah, why not? So load it up.
My mindset on it is if y'all are enjoying it, and if people like, I'll never hate on anybody for enjoying whatever game that they want. But what I will say is there are fair reasons for people to criticize this game, just like there's fair reasons for people to criticize Vanguard. I feel like both of those games came out in a very similar position.
I agree. I mean, like the patch today, like it did do good. It did fix some crucial bugs, but then it also came out with a really pretty game-breaking bug. Easy fix, but still
not really game. It is a game-breaking bug. You can't fucking play.
Yeah, legit. Like you get in and you can't look left or right. You can only look up and down with mouse, and it's PC only, I believe. But pretty crazy. It's an easy fix, but still the fact that it happens and it's like 90% to 100% at the time, pretty nuts.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that's Battlefield. Big patch came out today.
Half a building.
You what?
Your character became half of a building.
Yeah, there's still some visual issues when you die and stuff like that, but
there's still collision meshing issues as well. I'd like them to fix that.
Are they still having issues with like vehicles phasing through terrain and stuff?
I haven't seen that. No. They still have the boat climbing buildings. I don't know if they're going to take that out though.
That's not. They've already come out. They came out and said that like they're tweaking it to make it more difficult. But it's not a. They're not removing it. Like that is a.
I think it's kind of cool. I think it's a good part of the game, honestly.
So yeah.
Wait,
so,
like a boat from like the ocean?
It's a hovercraft.
It's a hovercraft.
He calls it a boat for some reason. I don't fucking know why.
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say like a speedboat, like just
it's a land hovercraft.
He's got the arcade shit where you use the fucking harpoons to drag the fucking clippers up on buildings.
But what I will say about the last thing I'll say about kind of Battlefield 2 is that I'm very impressed with like how quickly they are responding to certain things. Like the PP2.9 was completely busted when it came out, and within literally days it was patched and fixed. And it was like now you're not seeing it as much. They're actively like in there really kind of tweaking it, which was not seen in a lot of other Battlefields, which I am very, very happy with. That's something that Call of Duty does not do that actively and that fast. And again, I think that Portal is amazing. We've kind of stopped playing Hazard Zone. We haven't really done much with it. But
4 rounds, man. I really want to play it more.
Yeah. But
I think it's just you get more XP and more progression through the main mode.
That is one thing that I can't say about the XP and the progression for this game. Like, is rough. It is extremely rough for me, at least. I'm not a huge fucking shooter. I don't do well with shooters, right? So I'm not out there getting 50 to 100 kills like fucking Sin is. But I still think that I should be able to get through that progression a little bit quicker.
Yeah, I think it could be tweaked a bit, but
yeah. So anyway, so I don't have footage for Halo, but if you've listened to the show last week, right? I was adamant about Halo. I've loved Halo since I played Halo 1. I actively gave that game another shot. I've actively given it multiple chances, which is and these 3 guys can really attest to it. I don't do that often to give another game a fucking another go. And I have enjoyed my time with with Halo Infinite.
Blasphemy.
I've started to enjoy it more.
Fucking blasphemy, sir.
I will say that Bill sent me a video that I watched on the TTK where they went very, very in depth with it. And even though I still I feel like the TTK is still off with some things, like
it's the weapons.
It's
100%.
Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
But it's if you
to the point, on which Halo you're comparing it to.
So I compare it to Halo 2 and Halo 3 because those to me are the ones that are the accurate Halos to compare to.
Compared to Halo 1 and Halo 2, and it's terrible.
Well, Halo 1's you can't compare it.
This game is closest to Halo 3 as far as its weapon performance goes.
Right.
Right.
So when you look at the numbers, they are accurate to Halo, 1 or Halo 2 and Halo 3. Once you start bringing Halo 4 and Reach and stuff into that, that goes completely different, or Halo 1 goes completely sideways. But in any case, it's fun. It's enjoyable. There are still fucking issues my thing comes around to the energy weapons, which they are tweaking. They've said they're tweaking. And the meleeing still to me is off. Like there was a lock-on mechanic to the meleeing that you just didn't have. I also played one of the maps, which was the what's that sandpit map? It's like the
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah. So one of my biggest complaints there was every time I played that there was no sniper. When we played it, the 2 times that we played it, snipers appeared on that map.
Yeah, I think it varies between sniper and skewer, it seems.
Yeah, it's a sniper and skewer. Yeah. Sniper on one side, skewer on the other.
So that was I was like, okay, cool. Like it was enjoyable. And I will say maybe it's because of playing with friends, it made it better because there were comms that could be called out and things like that. Whereas with playing with pubs was different. But I remember playing pubs with Halo 2 and Halo 3 and it was fine. All I'm saying is it's enjoyable. I will redact my statement of saying that I still think that it still feels it's Halo, but it's different. I don't know how to put it, but it's not as it's not as bad as what I said.
The reason that the pubs might feel different now is because it's being introduced to a large audience that has, like me, never played Halo before. So
yeah,
a lot of times you might get into games with people who have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. So now I know, Bill, you've been playing Halo, yeah? Have you enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm very much enjoying it. Whenever we first played it together and stuff, I had because I hadn't played a Halo since Reach. I hadn't touched Halo or anything since that, and it was rough getting accustomed to that style of shooter, considering that the only shooter I've been playing a lot recently has either been Apex or Siege, and this Halo feels completely different than pretty much any shooter on the market. It's been what its calling card's been ever since it came out. It's that unique form of shooting. But I've been enjoying it. I think
mouse and keyboard or a controller.
I'm mouse and keyboard. Yeah.
Same.
I understand what you're saying about the melee, because I struggle with the melee too. Sometimes my melee just whiffs for no real reason, and other times it snaps perfectly. There is a slight lunge whenever you're meleeing at somebody from a certain distance, but
so it just seems like sometimes you don't get that lunge.
It seems like sometimes you don't get that lunge and the other person does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I've been having a lot of fun with it. Some of the most fun I've had with this game was the other day we were playing Fiesta, which is random. You spawn with a random loadout, and it was Slayer Fiesta. The energy sword with grapple hook or the dash, and maybe whatever side weapon. I like the Needler a lot. So energy sword, Needler, and a grapple hook was some of the most fun that I've had.
There's a meme with that of the Attack on Titan theme playing with the energy sword and the grapple hook. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I think too, one of my things, and I try to remember this game technically is not fully released. You know, but I still want to see like where's my ranked duos, where's my ranked slayer, where's my ranked cap, you know, just to capture the flag kind of mode.
Riot, isn't that a game mode that everyone loves, right? Or...
I mean, Fiesta was kind of like that mode. You know, and there's also a bunch of maps that we don't have that are there. So, you know, I'm interested to see when the game fully launches if we're gonna get those, or is this something that they're gonna like drip feed to it or not?
You know, they're not drip feeding is all the cosmetics. People are giving them flack for how much of the shop they're pushing on this.
Well, that was the thing that there's a big issue.
Rightfully so. I think
they openly said it was. Go ahead.
To be able to get everything from the shop, if you just wanted to buy it, it's like a couple, like it's above $100. I know for like all the cosmetics out right now.
Now the one thing though is that once you get the battle pass, you own it. Like there's no time limit, so you know you could essentially play it forever and eventually unlock all that stuff. But the thing that people are also getting pissed off about it was that they came out in one of the trailers and was saying like, we want people to feel good about playing the game and that you will not see items that are in the battle pass being able to be purchased. And like day one, you could purchase stuff that was in the battle pass, like in the store.
Yeah.
So
I just know they're pushing out so many cosmetics like every single week. People are getting like, what are your priorities here? Like the game or the cosmetics?
That's the biggest thing. Like it's a free to play.
Well, we know, but like it's still an insane amount. It's crazy.
At the end of the day, it's a free to play game. Technically, I don't plan on getting the campaign myself. I think I'll just stick with the multiplayer. So for me, it's going to be exclusively a free to play. So they do need a route to monetization, but as you were saying, they need to balance monetization with actually implementing things into the game to keep it fresh, to keep it exciting. Siege has very much the same issues. We haven't gotten a new map in 2 years because they're either reworking old maps or just not having like a new map rotation at all. Whereas what the community wants is new maps. We're down to 1 operator a patch instead of 2 operators a patch. And the only thing they've really got to show for it are the recycle at this point of weekly arcade playlists on the weekends. So
what would you guys feel if they took Forge and put that behind a paid DLC?
If they put Forge behind paid?
Yeah. That you had to actually buy it. Let's say $20.
$20. Yeah, I was thinking $20. I would be okay with that. I think that would be cool.
What do you mean Forge?
So Forge is is basically what a lot of people really do want, and what kind of made Halo, I think it was 3, right? Halo 3 had Forge, Halo 3 like really big was Forge, because this was basically you could go in, it's Battlefield Portal, right? You could go in, custom map, build stuff. Like you got you got basically everything in Halo. You could create a map with boxes, right? You could spawn like vehicles in these places. You could do, I mean, literally, it's when you talk about sandbox maps, like that was it. Like rocks, like, I mean, everything. Like they gave you every fucking thing for it. Which was also, by the way, keep in mind, unfucking heard of in a console. Like this was not a PC. This was console. They gave this to you to be able to build this kind of stuff. So I'd be interested if they put it behind a paywall. I
think it'd be fair if the person had to pay like money to create the maps and it was free for their friends to join.
Well, that's what it would be. That's what I was saying. $20 for the actual Forge editor.
Case,
and then that, because again, I think that's one of the things that a lot of people do have to understand as well. Like, yeah, they're coming out with a bunch of cosmetics, but again, like Bill said, the game is free. Like that game is free to play. And I bet you dime to dollar, most people, they're not going to make very much money off the campaign. Like people are not going to spend $60. I'm not going to spend $60.
It would be the same as like Call of, well, I'm not going to go that far because Halo campaigns are significantly better than Call of Duty campaigns typically. But
do you think anybody
it's
cares?
Along the same vein.
Like, do you think I feel like the Halo campaigns nobody has cared about since the trilogy has been done, right? Like Reach, and including Reach.
The Reach campaign was the last campaign that I cared about because the Reach campaign was a fucking tear jerker. It was,
but that was still
some art.
But that was still in, to me, the vein of Halo Reach, Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, right? Like, can you tell, like, who can tell me what the fuck happened in Halo 4 and 5 that they gave a shit about, right? Like, I can't tell you, other than the fact that I remember Cortana going fucking, like, batshit insane. You know, like, that's it. So, with Halo Infinite, I don't know if anybody's going to care. Like, I think it's past its prime for that storyline to give a shit. You know, so
well, let's see, because it just came out, didn't it?
Did it launch today or tonight?
I think
I thought it was the 8th. Maybe I have a wrong date in my head, but
I know Century for the Ash came out.
It is the 8th. The trailer came out
today.
Yesterday.
Yeah. Okay.
14 missions, by the way, for the campaign.
That's it.
Yeah, 14 missions.
Wow.
Over previous games.
Wow, longer than I think Halo 2 had 20. I believe they were decent sized campaigns. That kind of shocks me that it's only 14 at $60 and no co-op off the bat, which is kind of crazy.
Well, Reach only had 10.
Yeah, but Reach's missions were long. They weren't short missions. So
maybe these ones will be fairly long.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the campaigns have been great. Like, I'm not gonna knock Halo campaigns. Halo campaign and Halo writing is phenomenal. I just think it's missed its mark or missed its prime right now. So, with that, but I don't know. I like I said, I say all this to just basically say, like, Halo Infinite, it's free, it's worth a shot. Go give it a try. Play,
it's a really good time.
Play around with it. Like, actually, like, if you are a Halo fan, you're probably gonna get in there and it's gonna feel weird. Play around with it. It actually, play a couple rounds and you'll get the feeling of it, and it feels fine. Do not pick up
to play with
a fucking energy weapon, because those things suck. Those things are bad. So,
the laser, the beam.
Well, that's the sniper.
You know what I've been.
It's a sniper.
I've been vibing with the Cinder Shot recently.
Is that the one that you can do vertical or horizontal?
No, that's the It's the Cinder Shot's a variant of that one.
The Cinder Shot isn't that the one with the bounces? I like that one. That one's good. And if you hold down the ADS, you can actually guide it.
Oh, you can actually curve it.
If you hold down ADS, you can curve it and stuff.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I did not know that, but yeah, it's a one bounce and then it detonates on the second bounce. I've really been vibing with that weapon.
The one knock I will say, well, not one knock. I have a knocks against the game, but one of the knocks that I have against the game, and I still stand by, that game was made and is still made and is still better played on a controller, hands down. And I think that's shit. I think that there needs to be options on the mouse and keyboard.
I heard you bitching about the scroll wheel and stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that like the fact that natively I can't just scroll my wheel up and down to change my weapons, you know, and that there is no option for me to, like, it's not like weapon 1, weapon 2, like every fucking game ever. It's change weapon, and I can have that set to one button. Like, it's not built for mouse and keyboard. And I think in today's world, when you're launching on PC, you know, cross-play, all that kind of stuff, like, just come on, guys. Like, I don't give a fuck whether you copy another thing, make it so it's good on it. It's like on competitive, because that's the thing. A lot of people are saying, like, this game is not competitive if you are mouse and keyboard players. Like, you will get fucking completely destroyed, and it's the truth. Like, I can tell when
aim assist or something.
Absolutely, there's aim assist. 100% aim assist with it. And it's just it feels and functions well. Yeah, I really would plug in a controller and play, and I guarantee,
because I've been enjoying it thoroughly with the mouse and keyboard, but I'll have to give that a try.
Yep. So anyway, moving on to the news. We already covered the Battlefield update on there, but yeah, so we teased about this. Ludwig leaves Twitch and goes to YouTube. Now, is this big news in this grand scheme of things?
It's huge news.
You think it is?
I think it's massive.
What makes it why would you say it's massive?
So them acquiring Ludwig or however you want to pronounce it, it's kind of a double-fold acquisition. They didn't only purchase him, they have effectively purchased the massive Smash Brothers tournament that he is currently forming, and was like that event. They've purchased that event's rights to YouTube. And I think that's a just as big of a draw as purchasing him themselves. And if you've watched his why he left Twitch and stuff, he feels like in the future YouTube is the provider that's going to allow him to do more events of this type better. He felt like as far as Twitch went with him and supporting the events that he was wanting to do, that they could care less for the most part. He felt like YouTube is going to give him the better bang for the buck, the better backing for these events that he is going to want to push, because that's the kind of content creator he is. He is a just chatting content creator, but he also is he forms events. He does subathons. He does the Smash Bros tournament. That's where he thrives as a content creator, and he seems to think YouTube's going to be the better route for him to go to get backing to do those things.
So I agree with, so I think that the big thing about it is the reasoning why. I think the reasoning why leaving, and like his like reasoning video was pretty big, because that's the first one that we've actually got like a super in-depth, like, to me, non-bullshit reason. Like, I think everybody else that left, Tim, all of them were just like, oh, you know, I'm over here because I think the community is better and blah, 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 whatever. Like, I think Ludwig, for the first out of everybody, was just like, look, they offered me that, like, YouTube offered me way more money. I was actually going to go with Twitch in general, but Twitch treated me like shit. And he didn't say treat him like shit. He just said he didn't fight for him, right? Like, YouTube actually actively fought for him. Twitch didn't make them feel loved and cared about, so he went over there. I think
that checks out.
You saw what the tipping, I think he brought it up in that video, the tipping point for him. And if he would have gotten this, he probably would have stuck with Twitch. Is he wanted the ability to be able to cap gifted subs to his channel, because he felt bad about people gifting so many subs to like the non-events. He didn't want that much going to his channel, so he just wanted the ability to be able to cap that off, and Twitch told him no.
Well, I did see that, but I think the more powerful thing for me was when he said, like, because you also have Tim coming out and saying it too, like, hey, like, yeah, like Twitch did not fight for me, you know, but
yeah, Tim said Ludwig's narrative checks out,
like,
from his experience.
I think
too.
The reality though is that we all need to understand, like, Twitch is not going to fight for anybody. Like, Twitch, like, the way that they look at it, and realistically, aside from, and we can't include Dr. Disrespect because Dr. Disrespect was banned, but if you take Tim, you take Lupo, you take Ludwig, you take Courage JD, right? To me, and Valkyrie, to me, the one, like, there's only one of those that's an actual streamer in the sense of, like, realistically where their career was going. The other ones are all YouTubers. Like, Ludwig started on YouTube. He started his whole entire career was actually on YouTube, and then came over to Twitch over the last 3 years, and now has blown up, and now going back. So he was a YouTuber that went over to Twitch, has come back. Tim, realistically, 3 years has done nothing but really tried to grow his YouTube channel. He didn't give a fuck about streaming for the most part. Like, inside of his videos, he's like, hey, he would do an ad read for YouTube. Like, he would do all his stuff for YouTube, you know, and was really pushing his YouTube channel. So he was a YouTuber, right? Lupo, to me, is the only one that was like a streamer. And even still, I feel like he was starting to make that trend into kind of going into YouTube. I think as much as, like, Co Carnage and I don't agree with a lot of things, he did make a comment that I think is actually pretty accurate. Like, until YouTube changes their ability, like the community's thoughts and mentality on long form streams, I think that it's still going to be a situation where people are not going to want to go to YouTube, because they're not going to want to go to YouTube and watch a 4-hour fucking video. Like, if you look at every popular video, and you can attest to this, Bill, that, like, it's all like that, anywhere between like 8 to maybe 15, maybe 20 minutes. And that's pushing it. If you go to
20 minutes is the upper cap typically, unless you're doing like a video essay.
So, you know, I think that until that like becomes a different kind of thing, like long form streams are detrimental. But I did say yesterday, and I still believe this, that I think in the end, YouTube is going to win. I think YouTube is going to be the place to go for streams. And I think it will win the kind of streaming thing. I think if they focus on the platform, if they focus on the chat, if they actually dig in to it, I think that they can seriously put a dent in Twitch.
I think they're going to coexist. I think Twitch is going to be a lot more niche in like the 5-year plus future. I think more I think long form content is where Twitch thrives, and I can't see YouTube and the YouTube environment ever shifting 100% towards long view content.
That's the same with me. We were talking about it last night. I don't think that YouTube has it in them to push their.
I'm not saying that streams aren't going to be popular, but I feel like a YouTube gaming or YouTube streamers audience is going to be made up of a lot more people doing like drop in, drop out, like 30-minute style things. I don't think you're going to get those. Like, I think the average Twitch viewer watches, I think it was 109 hours of Twitch per day. Like, that's like average from like bottom of community to like the people that know live Twitch. It's 109 hours. I couldn't see YouTube gaming or YouTube streams like breaking an hour mark anytime soon. But I think that's okay just because the population of YouTube is big enough, and that drop in, drop out nature of viewership, I don't think it's going to be as detrimental for a YouTube streamer as it would be for a Twitch streamer. Just because the audience is bigger.
I just don't see them prioritizing streaming that much. I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. I honestly don't think that they are going to take streaming seriously. If they were going to take streaming seriously, they would have already taken streaming seriously.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
I think they're in the process of making that transition. I know they've said a lot of things and they haven't shown anything, but those are 2022.
Because they did say
we'll see what 22 has to say.
All that stuff that they were going to be adding.
Yeah, if they make do on even half the promises that they made in that thing, it's a step in the right direction. And I think the Ludwig acquisition is more than just him. Like I was saying, he is an event streamer. His subathons, his Smash Bros. Tournament, like that's the kind of stuff that he's going to be bringing to the platform. He's also, and I don't know if any of y'all heard of this, he's working on an extension to basically be the YouTube's better Twitch TV. It's going to be a way of kind of bringing that community aspect into that Twitch like community aspect into a YouTube stream with an extension that, for lack of a better word, steals a lot of like the emote stylings of a Twitch stream and brings it into a YouTube space.
Well,
he's working actively.
Yeah, they need that.
Yeah, he's working actively with developers on getting that off the ground. I wouldn't be surprised if YouTube picks it up eventually.
I think that was part of his. I think that's part of his contract, if I'm not mistaken. I know that not part of his contract.
Working on that extension.
Yes, that was part of him going over and doing that.
You would know more about like the logistics of that because you work a little bit more in the space than what I do. I'm just absorbing information from sources, but it's. I mean, I disagree in the fact that I don't think that they like. With anyway you saying that they're not gonna, that you don't think that they're gonna focus in on it. The reason I say that is because if Dr. Disrespect never happened, I 100% agree. If this was just like a buying war, like what they did with Courage JD and Valkyrie, 100% agree, right? Because those two are not big enough names to fucking do shit. I think the catalyst of Dr. Disrespect going over to that, or like being banned on Twitch, going to YouTube, and really kind of like being the first successful YouTube streamer realistically, I think that opened a lot of eyes to YouTube execs to be like, okay, because we heard talks about them meeting with him. We heard talks about how he was working closely with them, and I think that had enough of a catalyst for them to be like, hey, we're going to like really take a shot at this. Now, whether or not they stay with it, I don't know. But I mean,
I think them buying Ludwig versus buying another, gaming streamer, I think is a big deal. I think it's an IRL person. I think that's what they also need on that over there, because that is YouTube. That is successful. That's a way to grab that Mr. Beast market and bring them into streaming, right? I think if they were to buy just another gaming person, it wouldn't have mattered. Like video game person, it really wasn't going to matter, as much. But I do think that they are going to take it very seriously, because I think that they are, like I said, I think that Dr. Disrespect Catalyst has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't be surprised. Go ahead, Scruff.
I think you made a fair point too, Bill, with the acquisition of Ludwig and how he is that event type streamer. With these changes and additions that they are touting to add, I think it's the perfect time for it. All this stuff would go hand in hand with his style of streaming. So I think it would give that opportunity for that those kind of additions to really pop off and be, actually used.
And let's be real here for like a second, as far as events and maybe like esports and stuff goes. If you have the option to watch an esport or a live streaming event on Twitch as opposed to YouTube, YouTube gives the better viewing experience outside of the community. Like from the VOD standpoint alone, you have higher resolutions, you have playback, you have a lot of features that Twitch just does not have to make a esport or a live event experience.
Right. It's a better entertainment source, like as if any other event on an actual TV, like you could
the only thing you're missing from a YouTube perspective would be like the Twitch chat wall of whatever.
So let me
community experience.
Let me play devil's advocate there, right? So think about this, right? I could sit at home and watch my favorite sporting event in better quality, better angles, never miss a play, never miss a shot, be basically on the court, on the field, wherever, on the ice, wherever it may be, right?
Right.
That's YouTube. Or I can pay a bunch of money, way more money, go to the stadium, be surrounded by fans, get a worse viewing angle, not really be able to see everything, like just overall a shittier experience of the actual event, but I'm surrounded by
the community aspect.
Like in the community, yeah. That's Twitch, right?
Yeah.
So
and I think that's fair. I think both of those can exist. I do see Twitch going more down a niche road with that. Go ahead and.
What I was going to just say is that I think they both is both very much of a powerful experience, but I think like there's something, and if YouTube can get that community, which is what everybody is basically saying, like, hey, like you have the better platform when it comes to bitrate, viewing, experience, all of that kind of stuff, but you're missing the key part. Like Twitch is still only allowing 1080p 60. For fuck's sake, man. It's 2021. People are playing in fucking almost 8K games, and we are still fucking in 1080p 60. But they're there because of the experience, right? Like they're there because of that community experience. The moment that YouTube can grasp that is a fucking stranglehold on Twitch that Twitch, I don't think, can necessarily get out of. Like that is a like YouTube could crush them if they can firmly get their hands around what that experience.
We will see what this extension does, because I have a feeling that if that extension is implemented properly, it could be a real big game changer for the YouTube community experience. I might be putting too much stock into it.
No, I think that's a big deal. Like my ears perked up when about that in that part of the video when he said that. I was like, oh shit. I was like, that's a big deal, man. Like that's a very big deal. Very, very big deal. So yeah, I'm sure this is not the first or the last that we will, or this is definitely not the last that we will hear of this.
No, from what I understand, at the start of next year, where there's going to be a couple more acquisitions that are kind of off kilter with what people might expect from like a purchase. But
do you think they're still going to be in the IRL space, or do you think they're going to be mixtured?
I would be surprised if they're more like, I don't think they're going to get any more gaming people from Twitch. I think they're going to be either IRL space or some sort of like artistry space, like an art stream or a music type person. I think that's where they're gonna go.
people are talking about if Amaranth goes over there. I was like, dude, they're not gonna buy Amaranth. She's too much of a brand risk. Like, there's no way they're gonna pick up Amaranth. In my opinion, that's like XQC. People are like, oh, XQC's gonna go. I was like, there's no fucking way they'll buy XQC.
Nah. And I've been watching Devin Nash on this stuff, and he is Amaranth's agent, and he's not dropped any hints about her moving platforms at all. So
I didn't know he's Amaranth's agent.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Huh. Well, cool.
Or Amaranth is under his agency, I guess.
That's what, isn't that AFK Creators? Is that what his agency is, or no?
No, that's Charlie's, isn't it?
Maybe. I thought it was.
Because I know Charlie has his own agency too.
Well, Amaranth did buy a gas station. She bought a 7-Eleven. So good for her, man. Have at it.
Honestly, man.
I'd buy a fucking 7-Eleven. You know how profitable them bitches are? It's like buying a McDonald's. Like, come on.
Man.
Come on.
Novo is his,
Novo. Yeah. Moving on.
Get questions ready, by the way, everybody.
Yep.
Getting to that point.
Marvel Avengers. Enigma is playing the shit out of Spider-Man, and he is loving every minute of it, aren't you?
You fucking wish.
I do. I actually do wish it was actually fucking good.
Dude, how
you
much more
play
can they?
Anyways.
How much more diarrhea can they put in the
there's a lot. They can keep shoving it down. It's fucking our throats on that one. So there's a couple new things here. So one, Spider-Man released on PS5 for a Marvel Avengers. Keep in mind that this is now a year, right? We're at a year mark, or a little over a year. No content missions. Just want to be clear about that. So you don't get any new content. They literally just dropped this character in with nothing, except a bunch of fucking buyable skins. They dropped a shit ton of those in there, so you can get all that. So that's cool.
Well, he's got a small story, but it's all told through
it's through comic book style cutscenes.
Yeah, like audio. Fucking they went down the Fallout 76 route of like, hey, instead of telling the story through NPCs and actual action, we're just gonna give you a bunch of fucking tapes and you can listen to it. Because that's what everybody wants to wait a year for.
A year, like, come on, nothing. Then. Not only that, but then they legitimately pulled his moves, like his swinging stuff, which is, if there's one thing, I have a fucking headache, but this is just making me feel like so much work. One fucking thing that you are going to get right on Spider-Man, it's the fucking web swinging. Like, come on, man. Like, you cannot fuck up the web swinging. And they pulled this shit from Spider-Man 2 from the PlayStation 2. Like, there is a like especially when you have like Insomniac Spider-Man, who just nails the shit out of it. Right?
You know what the worst part about that too is that Insomniac came out and said, "Oh yeah, this is a really great Spider-Man. This is a really great rendition of Spider-Man." I'm like, "Are you fucking?"
Whoever said that should be fired.
What fucking version did you fucking?
That's got to be some passive aggressive.
Like what fucking version of Spider-Man did you fucking play?
Like, there is a glass ceiling that you swing on, right? And this is a style that is, again, old school game development. When you're talking about like a character movement that swings or does stuff like that, it's a glass ceiling. By the way, I confirmed the glass ceiling is lower than where Iron Man and Thor can fly. So you've got
the glass ceiling goes to about the height of like
it's like 8 floors up. Like, that's it. That's as high as you can go. And you're swinging, and
you can fly above them and see it, right?
Yeah, you can fly above and see like the web sticking to this glass, and then when he swings, he hits his head on the glass ceiling. It's just like he goes dunk. It's just dunk, and then he falls to the ground. Like, not even on top of that. Then like his movement set is fucking glitched. He's just like gliding around, stuck in positions. Web stuff doesn't work. Like, I like at this point, I'm really firmly believing
his fighting style like taken from Black Panther's moveset
it's
too.
Black Panther and Black Widow, like a combination of the two. Like it's like I at this point think Crystal Dynamics is just trying to blow up their shit. Like they're just being like, I don't know how bad can we fuck this up.
Oh, and I think if you'll remember back to when we first started talking about this, right? I assume you and I both said, Sin, that if they fucking pull this shit where they just take carbon copies of other characters' fucking combat styles, it's gonna be a terrible game.
Yeah,
and
that's what they
so
did.
far,
As far
as I can see, every fucking
well,
character that they brought out,
Black Widow
has
was
been a carbon
Black
copy.
Widow was not bad. Black Widow was, I think, or not Black Widow, Black Panther. I liked it. I think his moveset was unique.
It was his moveset might have been slightly unique, but there was still very far. There were a lot of parallels between him and fucking Black Widow.
Holy shit! It is just the PS2 web swing.
I told you, man. It's terrible.
Holy shit!
It's so bad. A year. We waited a year for this. Don't bring this to PC. Like, I don't want it.
Again, being on the PlayStation with Insomniac's fucking Spider-Man, that's like, to bring that out is like a slap to the face to Sony.
I mean, Square Enix. Our timeline here, me and Enigma are on different sides, but I don't know. I just saw a thing where Square Enix was like, yeah, we may have fucked up when we gave it to Crystal Dynamics. Like, we shouldn't have done this. Like, we should not have given this to Crystal Dynamics. Anybody else could have done a great job, like a better job than this. Like, it's bad.
Dude, what is the pacing? You lose all momentum every time you pull out a new web to swing.
Yeah, it sucks. It's terrible. It's so bad.
It's like I was saying.
That
like
VR
I
game
think
did better web swinging than
it did.
this.
Yeah. I think that if they had given it to another company like Eidos Interactive or fuck, even if they gave it to Insomniac, dude, I would have rather seen that go to Insomniac.
An indie dev with two people can do better.
Insomniac could do a multiplayer game like this. The only multiplayer game
could have done better than fucking Crystal Dynamics.
Two people could have done better than this, bro. An indie dev with two people could have done better than this. This is bullshit. This is fucking bullshit. That's all I'm saying. Now, the reason I bring all that stuff up is because we're getting an MMO, but it's made by the fucking people by Daybreak Studios, so I have no faith in that. Like, they own DC Universe Online, which is decent. At best, it's decent. It's still around, but I don't know, man.
I thought the game was gone.
No, it's still a thing. They actually make pretty decent money on it, but I don't know. Look, at this point, I have no fucking faith. Like, you're gonna get my money because I'm a Marvel whore, and that's just the way it works, or whatever. But man, like, it's an abusive relationship. This is just not fair. Like, come on. I just want some. I just want a multiplayer MMO Marvel game that doesn't suck dick.
What's Midnight Sun? That'll.
Yeah, hopefully.
I know it's not the same genre, but that one looks good at least.
Yeah, hopefully. So, that's it for news. We got some quick hits. Dead by Daylight is free on the Epic Store right now. They also launched their new not expansion. What do you call it? The new killer launched.
New chapter.
Yeah, new chapter. With the new killer.
Don't get it.
I'll
do it.
Hey, Shock. No, I'm gonna buy it. I buy every single one of them. I don't know. I buy every single one of their killers.
No, I don't care if you buy it. Just buy it on Steam.
Oh yeah, buy it on Steam. I'm not gonna buy it on Epic. Fuck that. New World still busted.
New killer goes. Caw!
Yeah. Have you played it, Bill?
No, I haven't played it. She seems really good though.
Is she a new killer or like another?
She's an original. She's the artist. So
yeah,
like Edgar Allan Poe coming up in here. Fucking
yeah, she has like ink for hands, and she summons like phantom ravens to shoot.
What the Raven evermore? Yeah,
it's a little creepy.
So I heard the map is actually really good. I have heard that
the map's great. I heard
really
it's one of the better maps that they've introduced, which you can't get much worse than the fucking Silent Hill map or the Resident Evil map.
Yeah, terrible.
That map looks bad.
I do want to play.
As a quick note to Stevens, yeah, no, Marvel Avengers is not my game of the year. Yeah,
yes, it is.
You can write that off.
Yes,
it's this game of a lifetime.
Yeah, no. It's Fortnite. Fortnite's his game of the year. Or actually Dauntless is actually his game of the year. What was I gonna say? Oh, in the DVD World Prop Hunt came out. It released. Actually, been getting pretty decent reviews.
I've actually heard really good things about it, honestly.
So it's basically DBD, but you are props instead of. I'm actually probably gonna pick it up. It's $20 to play and just give it a try.
I also want to bring up that Dead by Daylight and Rainbow Six Siege have the same release cycle, because Rainbow Six Siege also released a new patch or a new operation with a new defender. She has sticky bombs that blow up and kill you.
Interesting.
You're talking about Prop Night, Sin, not Prop Hunt. I mean, it's Prop Night.
Night.
I saw this game. Yeah.
Prop Night. Yes. Prop Night.
This, you know who this is made by?
No.
It's made by the people who were making The Day Before.
No way.
Legit.
Yeah.
They showed this at the end of the trailer for the Day Before. They announced that the beta was going live.
Yeah, it's made by the same people that made the Wild 8 the Day Before.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay $20 for it.
$20 is not bad. Anyway,
I wouldn't pay $20 for it.
You know what's better than $20 free, which is what that Warner Brothers Smash Bros. Game is. That actually looks pretty good.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that last week, right? Did we talk about that last time? Yeah. Okay.
Note of it.
It's still coming out.
It was brought up at some point. They have Ultra Instinct Shaggy.
Yes, dude.
They did it. They did the thing.
Oh man.
So glad.
New World is still busted, so it's just
Big surprise there.
They're still broken and busted. In fact, we are going to do a celebration whenever they actually launch server transfers and keep it, because they brought it out and then took it back off again.
I don't even care. I'm still pissed at the server transfer.
Yep. They because
fixed it.
The gold they fixed the gold they fixed the gold duping, and then they re-released this, and when they re-released it, whenever you server transferred, it gave you the maximum amount of gold that you could possibly have.
I should have server transferred. Damn it.
So it completely busted the economy. And the worst part about it is they didn't take it away from people yet. So the economy is still fucked.
To be completely honest, the best thing that they could do for that game is just to shut it down and fucking start. Fix everything.
Just Final Fantasy 14 it.
But I'm still pissed at the server transfers because they're useless. They only go coast to coast. You can only either server transfer from West Coast to West Coast or East Coast to East Coast servers.
Because legitimately at this point, like, the fucking economy's done. Like the game
economy is so fucked, dude. It's nuked. Nuclear.
I mean, if they hit the reset button on the economy, that would make sense.
Even then, I think that even
you would need a fresh wipe. Everybody,
you would still need an entirely fresh wipe on everybody on that server because of any gold transfer, anything between hands, between the fucking marketplace, anything like that is in contention at that point.
Yeah. Rip.
Yeah, but you know, on the good MMO side for Amazon, Lost Ark, we're getting the Sorcerer. They took away the Summoner, but we're getting the Sorcerer. Summoner wasn't that great.
People are mad, but probably a fair trade.
We'll get Summoner eventually.
You'll get Summoner eventually. I mean.
And for best MMO, Enigma, you want to talk?
Oh yeah, Endwalker. There you go. Comes out in
3 hours, 30 minutes, 43 seconds.
That's not coming out.
So Endwalker's gonna come out. So we're gonna lose Enigma for a while, guys.
Rightfully so.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm not gonna be able to play tonight. I wanted to stay up until 1 a.m. tonight, but I got some shit to do tomorrow morning.
You won't be able to get to the servers anyway.
100% be playing it tomorrow.
I'm assuming I won't be able to get your help with MMO stuff this weekend. Then Enigma. It's the first weekend I've actually had like enough free time to want to jump into Final Fantasy, and I know you're gonna be big busy.
If you hit me up, I will make time.
Aw, look at that.
Thank you.
He wouldn't do that for us, though, Sin.
Fuck no, he wouldn't. He told me to fuck off.
Neither of you will play the fucking game.
I played the game. I'm just not playing it anymore. I don't see. I have no need to. I'm not as addicted as you are.
I'm super slow rolling it, and I'm thankful that you haven't defriended me for being so slow about it. Enigma.
I still haven't defriended these assholes, and they don't even fucking play the game.
I come back every once in a while. Leave me alone.
Every 5 years, I come back.
Hey, man. Fuck you. At least I'm not playing WoW. So, other news, Activision is still a shit show as well. So there's still fucking lawsuits going on with that. There's new ones every day.
I heard their head of QA left, and
their heads of everything is left. They're getting sued.
Yeah, I was about to say, and the head of the recently introduced head for their individual, or their what's the word for it? They're like the person that they assigned to go in and like look at all the shit left.
The Bobby Kotick is being called to be kicked off the board for Coca-Cola.
He's not gonna leave, man. I'm
talking about Coca-Cola. I said Coca-Cola. Board for Coca-Cola.
Oh, Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a different story. Like, I don't know about Coca-Cola, but I guarantee you he will not be kicked off of the head of Activision.
Maybe.
I guarantee it.
Icarus launches as well tonight. If you're into
what is that?
That is
what the fuck is that?
It is.
You remember the maker of DayZ, the original, the mod?
Yeah.
It's his.
He started a studio, yeah, and is making a survival game. So
okay.
That
might be pretty good then.
Yeah, there is a
weird.
$100 fucking pack that you can buy if you want to.
It's a little strange. It's a very unique style of game. I think it's like a almost like a roguelike survival. Like you go down onto the surface, you gather as much shit as you can in a certain amount of time, and then you try and make it to the escape pod in time.
Yeah.
To get back up to the space station to get all your gear and everything like that. So that's basically the basic game loop. And during your time on the planet itself has like huge like storms, natural disasters, natural
reminds me of the Outer Wilds.
Kinda, yeah.
I think it'll be interesting.
I think I played it. I bought it and I played that first test. I think you did too.
Yeah, I did.
It was weird. It was janky.
I quickly refunded it.
I was gonna say, I thought you refunded
I refunded it as well. Yeah.
I will keep an eye on it for sure.
I've heard very, very consistent reviews that it's very strange, that people are not sure that what to think of it. So I don't know. We'll see how it works.
Harmonix got picked up by Epic, so if you want to play Guitar Hero, it's not going to be on Epic. Yep. No. Harmonix was not. No. Yeah, that's Rock Band, not
Harmonix was Rock Band, and
Activision was Guitar
Central.
Hero. Yep. Yeah. Also, Minecraft Cave and Cliff update, part 2 came out.
Excited about that.
That shit is fucking amazing. Yeah. I've seen there's been some in my Discord, some cave screenshots going around, and holy shit.
I've been thinking about putting up a server.
What I will say about Minecraft is I am fucking impressed at the length that game is still like going.
They're still top.
It's crazy, man. Like
it's still a full price game. They have yet to.
Yeah, rightfully so. The game's fucking good. God, man. I mean, yeah, like what? I think it's $30 is what it costs, right?
Yep.
$30, yeah, or 20.
And the game.
This is why you don't go out of your way to piss off your modding community.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm to be honest, I'm a little overwhelmed with the Cave and Cliffs update. Dude, it looks crazy.
Yeah, it's
a lot. It is a lot of changes.
Minecraft, Minecraft's had the same formula for years, and this is the biggest change.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about diving back into Minecraft because of this. So
I really enjoy it. It's
we gonna do this instead of Stardew Valley. Scruffy.
Oh, fucking 100%.
Yeah, I trust me. I want to play Stardew, but I don't know if it's the time. I don't know.
Yeah. That's it, guys.
Wait until that Ghost Chocolatier game.
That's what I was about to say. Speaking of Stardew, they just released information about a new game. It's basically
the Haunted Chocolatier.
Haunted Chocolatier,
yeah.
Yep.
It's basically Stardew Valley just with chocolate.
And ghosts.
And ghosts.
Well, guys, that's it. That's episode 49 in the books. Wrap it up. Put a bow on it. Send it out for Christmas gifts. We're done. Thank you guys all for hanging out here. I don't think we had any other kind of questions. Since we have no questions, roundtable it. Actually, I'm gonna have a question off topic, completely of here. Got a couple. Well, we have we're over time, but we're not by much. What? And there's no discussion. Just I want to hear the answer, and I want to hear why, and that's it.
Not my dad. Don't tell me what to do.
Best toppings on a pizza. Bill, go.
Pepperoni mushroom sausage. I call it the PMS.
All right.
Okay.
Scruffy.
Ham, green peppers, onions.
All right.
So good.
Enigma.
I'm boring, dude. I just like pepperoni, man.
I respect. I respect.
Okay. All right. So ham, mozzarella cheese, fresh tomatoes, and if we're gonna do mozzarella, a dollop of mozzarella, so like an actual true margarita pizza, right? A little bit of crushed basil, banana peppers, green peppers, black olives, and don't you dare put a fucking pineapple anywhere near my goddamn pizza, and mushrooms. Those are the best.
You don't have expensive taste, do you? Fuck, Sin. Jesus Christ. How fucking expensive is your pizza?
Hey, I said no discussion, damn it. I just said the reason why. It's great. It's fucking great.
This is not discussion.
If you want to throw some meat on there,
toppings matter. All right.
If you want to throw some meat on there, you can. Also, too, I'm not opposed to anchovies. Not on that pizza, but anchovies. They're also not bad.
Anchovies.
They're good.
Stuffed crust.
Oh, dude, stuffed crust. Dude, stuffed crust with pepperoni in the crust. Whew.
My favorite stuffed crust is if I forego tomato sauce and go with the Alfredo sauce.
Yeah, it's good too. Yep.
I love a white pizza, dude.
Dude, craziest thing, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you can find a pizza joint that will do stuffed crust, thin crust pizza. So stuffed crust at the end, but thin crust everywhere else. That shit's
sounds pretty dope.
Fucking good.
Another good topping, artichoke.
Yes, dude. Artichokes. But you gotta have somebody that actually does artichokes properly. Because I've had them where they do them wrong and they fucking hard. They get like that hardy, spiny shit.
I don't understand you people.
Anyway, you like one topping. You're basic ass Betty bitch.
I like what the tried and true pepperoni pizza, bro. Like, you can't go wrong with that.
So boring.
You can hate on it because it's good.
It's so boring.
You over here talking about you need to have like the specific fucking pizza restaurant to do stuff like.
Well, that's because
like, you can't go to a pizza restaurant and get a shitty fucking pepperoni pizza.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So, anyway, guys, thank you all for coming in and hanging out. If you are here live, we much appreciate you. If you're listening to us after the fact, thank you as well. But you should try joining us live. We do this every other Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here across all of our channels. Are you guys doing anything crazy over the next weekend or week for streams?
I'm just doing the Convergence.
Nice. What times do you stream?
9:30 a.m.
Every day?
Eastern time. Most days.
Okay. Scruff, you doing anything crazy?
Nothing here, no. More streams will kick up now that I got a new capture card. So just look out for more streams.
Enigma?
Back depends on my back, but Final Fantasy 14's out. I'm probably gonna. I don't know. I don't know if I'm actually gonna stream that. I have a thing with streaming Final Fantasy 14. I just don't think
just enjoy it. Don't put yourself on a pedestal. Don't put an expectation out there.
It's not really an expectation. It's just that I don't think that I'm personally entertaining when I'm trying.
You're not. It's okay.
Listen to fucking Final Fantasy 14 story. Like I'm very focused in on the story. I'm trying to figure out, trying to make sense of what's going on. And I just don't think that in itself is entertaining. So I don't know. I do want to continue. Obviously, like I said before, I need to finish Guardians of the Galaxy. Haven't done that yet because of my back, and I would like to play some of that Resistance on stream. So
cool.
God willing, let's hold my back. Fucking
fingers crossed, mate.
Yep.
Watch you.
I have this weekend. I will be live Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I will actually be live pretty much not all day tomorrow, but earlier tomorrow, and then all day on Saturday. So super excited about that.
And we need to play more Wilder Myth.
Absolutely, we do. Absolutely, we do.
Oh, so finish that chapter. That'll be good.
Yep. Anyway. You guys have an amazing, amazing night. We will catch you guys later. And we will see you in 2 weeks. Bye, guys.
Gooses.
Bye.